Conversing with you for SAP India will be the first time. You took over at a very difficult time. Pandemic was kind of started off 2022, 2020. So how has been the ride so far?
When I took over in July 2020, it was in the middle of the pandemic, right? So it started in March, and something that we hadn't learned over the years, Shivani, right? On how do you build trust and build credibility, and how do you build up teams and businesses over screens. So I think there was a lot of learning there. Very, very interesting because we had to jockey. It's like very often I use the phrase, you're changing airplane engines midair, right? We say that very often. So because while you keep the business afloat, in fact, on a growth trajectory, you're not able to meet people. You have no coffee corners. You're not really, you're not having the in-person. We saw around us companies jumping onto the digital bandwagon faster than ever before. So the demand that was coming in solutions like commerce and even for our digital core, right, ramped up faster than ever before. And the last one, of course, is, and I'll talk about it, the whole transition to becoming a cloud company. And we were in the midst of it, or we were about to start it rather, not even in the midst of it. So I think that whole transition, which I call more of a cultural mindset transition, it had to be fructified across screens. So very interesting time.
SAP is completely becoming a cloud company. It was always, but in truly, I think what pandemic did was, completely pivot to the cloud platform. Tell me, what has it meant for India?
In essence, I think it was October of 2020, where we actually made that shift. We called our strategy shift as reinvent. And, we said we're going to holistically pivot to the cloud. We saw consistent outperformance, as I term it, quarter on quarter, all across the year. We've overperformed on almost every single metric across the globe, which is phenomenal. So, a historic performance where we've accelerated our cloud growth in 2021 massively with a big call out for 2022, saying that we would grow up to 26%, 23 to 26% non-IFRS cloud revenue growth. I think India clearly led from the front in this entire transition to the cloud. Clearly, the most stellar performance, our best performance in our history, was the year 2021. And I'll give you a flavor of what that means. So we were one of the largest contributors globally out of India for, I was talking about the RISE customers, the RISE with SAP customers who shifted to the cloud. So we were one of the largest contributors there from a number of wins perspective, right? And this was across, some of the largest enterprises like Mahindra's and HCL and Bajaj Electricals, etc., down to internet companies like Ola Electric, Wakefit, etc., which actually chose us for their digitalization from a holistic market perspective. From an India perspective, I think 3 of the 4 quarters we grew at triple digit.
You started off by saying 2022 year. I mean, the company globally has said is going to be a growth year. How significant, or what's the roadmap for you in this particular year? What's going to be your focus areas?
We will continue to build India as one of the fastest growing strategic markets, like I mentioned, in addition to, further diving deep into the innovation hub piece and how can we maximize our returns, given that we have so much of innovation going on in our backyard. By 2025, we will achieve a 22 billion of cloud revenue globally, right? So from 22 to 25, we will achieve a 22, and our total revenues would be to the 36 billion in total revenue by 2025. Now, simply put, India needs to continue to be a significant contributor to this goal. SAP's contributions, again, in this India's growth story has been immense, right? And to give you a flavor of that, today our customers in India contribute to more than 60% of India's GDP. Like I said, 10,000 SMEs, 50 million consumers of gas and electricity today are supported through our solution. So those are the top 2 or 3 things that we're doing from a business perspective, from a nation building perspective, and from the people perspective.
Thanks so much for your time, Kulmeet, and I hope we get to meet soon.
Thank you, Shivani. Thanks for taking out the time.
If you liked this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.